phone screen lit up and a message from Gu Ying popped up. The warm glow spread across the desk, casting tiny fragmented spots of light onto the dark carpet. Shazhou leaned back in his chair, supporting his chin with his long slender fingers, tapping a rhythm that started and stopped, his fingertips hovering over the screen as if following some silent beat. He didn't reply, he just watched. That look in his eyes was like he wanted to devour you whole. There was no outburst, only a suffocating sense of oppression. You knew that look too well, you knew he was angry, and it was the kind of suppressed fury he rarely let out. He didn't have a temper for making scenes, but he would let this unhappiness seep into your life, bit by bit. You changed your shoes, pretending to be busy with your hands as your eyes darted around, looking anywhere but at him. Once your shoes were on, you deliberately avoided those eyes peering from the shadows and quickly turned around, pretending to smooth out your skirt to hide the trembling rising from deep within you. It was a shiver induced by his gaze, a trembling that made you want to run while knowing there was nowhere to hide. You could even feel his gaze sliding down your spine like something sticky and cold. Ying, I really do have to work overtime, you whispered, your voice getting quieter and quieter, as if you were murmuring to yourself. Your fingertips rubbed against your white shoes, trying to wipe away a stain that wasn't there. In your heart, you knew this wasn't really an excuse. Your fingertips still retained his warmth, the tingling sensation from his touch was still jumping beneath your skin. You were truly working overtime. In the conference room, a few interns were buzzing around you, chattering away with questions. Senior sister, how do I do this? What about that? You patiently answered them one by one. Just then, you felt a line of sight from behind, burning hot and staring straight at you. You turned your head and saw Gu Ying leaning against the doorframe, arms crossed, his expression dark. You smiled at him, waved to your colleagues, told them they had worked hard today, and promised to treat them to bubble tea next time. Then you walked out. He didn't say a word, just stood there like an iceberg. When you walked up to him, wanting to explain, he suddenly reached out, pulled you into his arms, and lowered his head to kiss you fiercely. His kiss carried a sense of punishment, along with that scent of cedar. You didn't want to resist, nor did you have the strength to. The kiss was too familiar, too easy to drown in. For a moment, you were enveloped by that cedar scent, your mind going completely blank. It wasn't until he released you that you gasped for air, your face burning and your body turning soft. It was also that night that he drove you home on his way. The car was quiet and no one spoke. When you reached the downstairs of your building, the car stopped, but he didn't lock the doors. The atmosphere was a bit awkward, and you felt a little shy, not knowing what to say. Finally, you broke the silence. So, I'm going up? He didn't answer, just turned his head, those eyes glowing startlingly bright in the dim light. Don't get so close to other people in the future, he said suddenly, his voice low, vibrating from deep within his chest. You froze for a second, not expecting him to bring this up. You stared at him blankly, a wave of grievance rising in your heart. Clearly, he was the one unwilling to go public, yet now he wouldn't let you speak to others. These grievances rushed up like a tide, your eyes rimmed with red, and you were on the verge of tears. Seeing you like this, he sighed, reached out and rubbed your head. All right, don't cry, it's my fault. His tone softened, his fingers wiping away the tears from the corners of your eyes. It won't happen again. Let's go home. You looked at him, and the tears finally fell. All the waiting and the grievances seemed to be released in this moment. Even though he didn't say it, you knew he had truly fallen for you. He really did want to hide you away, yet he couldn't help but want to possess you. Gu Ying, what are you doing? The scent of tobacco is heavy, mixed with a trace of fresh perfume. It is suffocating. It is his usual scent, but right now, it carries a terrifying aggression. He has you pinned against the car door. You can feel the heat radiating from him through your clothes, and every inch of your skin feels like it's burning under his gaze. You don't need to speak. I know it all. You know that I know exactly where you went. You could have found a way to hide it from me, yet you didn't. Instead, you chose to appear at his doorstep, showing a silent provocation that I couldn't ignore. You wanted to push my buttons, didn't you? It's not that I don't want to let you go, it's just that when his fingers gripped your chin, the taste of his kiss was so cruel. He made you feel like you were lying. He held your chin firmly, as if holding a disobedient little cat. His eyes were deep and unreadable, staring at you with a mix of anger and something else that made your heart race. Do you know what that feels like? Like being marked as private property. Belonging to someone else entirely, it feels incredibly safe. It feels like you are the only one in the world, but sometimes you just want to run wild, like a little cat slipping away from its owner. But you can't run far. The collar is there, invisible but tight, reminding you that you belong to someone. Until the moment the rope snaps, you are safe, but once that restraint is gone, you realize you are lost. The anger in his eyes dissipated into a sigh. Fine, he said. If you really want to go, go, but don't come back to me if you regret it. I admit it. He reached out and pinched your chin, his fingertips ice cold, yet the anger burning in his eyes seeped straight into your bones. You looked up, met his gaze, and tried to shrink back. He turned your face back to him. You know what? Just be a good girl. You ran to Shazhou to see senior brother, acting like a coward. Did you think that would save you? He moved closer, his breath hot against your face. You think I didn't know? I know everything. You can run, but you can't hide. The scent of tobacco on his fingers mixed with the warmth of his mouth, creating a confusing heated chill. You felt yourself melting. His lips were hard, demanding, taking everything you had. It wasn't a gentle kiss, it was a punishment. It reminded you of the way his father used to look at you, expecting perfection, demanding control. But with him, it was different. He held you tightly, then pulled back, his chest heaving. Don't lie to me, he whispered, his voice rough. You can't act like this with anyone else. I know you too well. I know every part of you. Don't let anyone else see this side of you. You are mine. The next day at the office, you knew you were in trouble. The intern had stirred up a storm, making a huge scene. Everyone was staring at you, whispering. You tried to explain the situation to junior brother, but he just stood there with that irritatingly calm smile saying, I just wanted to get to know her better. You wanted to scream. You never meant for this to happen. You were just trying to be polite, but now the whole office thinks you're entangled in this mess. The intern was looking at you with a provocative smile, like a wolf in sheep's clothing. You felt a chill run down your spine. You turned and fled, running back to the safety of your office. Gu Ying stood by the door, dressed in a sharp dark suit. He looked out at Shazhou, his gaze sweeping across the narrow office. A female colleague looked up and caught his eye, clearly thinking, Senior brother is so handsome. But senior brother didn't even look at her. His eyes remained fixed on the screen. Or perhaps on the person hiding behind it. Under the cover of the office desk, his hand had already found its way to her. Beneath the table he didn't speak, but his hand moved with purpose. He looked straight ahead, maintaining his professional demeanor, yet his fingers were busy tracing the fabric of her clothes. The heat from his palm was scorching through the material. He hooked his finger around her belt loop, giving it a gentle tug, silently demanding her attention. Senior brother really didn't pay attention to anyone else. She could feel the curious glances of their colleagues burning into her. That intern had been trying to get his attention all morning, practically throwing herself at him, yet he hadn't even raised his head. He only looked at Little Cat, his eyes dark with a dangerous intent. There was a smile playing on his lips, but deep in his gaze, there was a possessiveness he couldn't quite hide. What was he planning? I know, she whispered softly. He just pinched her cheek in response, his fingers lingering for a moment before pulling away. When she turned to leave, she didn't dare look back. She glanced sideways at the intern. The intern was glaring at her, clearly unhappy. The atmosphere in the office was tense. Everyone knew she had a special relationship with Gu Ying, but no one dared say it out loud. Knock, knock. Come in, she answered, her heart pounding in her chest. She knew it was him, Gu Ying. If their relationship was exposed now, it would be a disaster. She didn't want to be the center of office gossip. Suddenly, Gu Ying was right behind her. Through the glass partition, he reached in, pinched her waist, and pulled her back against him. He trapped her between his body and the wall. His hot breath tickled her ear, and his hand slipped under her shirt from behind, his fingers rubbing against the skin of her waist. The sensation was like a fire starting in the night. How could she betray him like this? Panic set in. Gu Ying lowered his head. She could only stare at the buttons of his suit, afraid to meet his eyes. You're bad, she murmured. We're in the same department. This affects our work. Same department? He let out a low laugh, his breath hot against her ear. If the intern thinks it's bad, let her think it. What does it matter? Her clothes were disheveled, a button loose. She looked up at him with teary eyes. You unbuttoned it, she complained softly. Look, it doesn't fit right. He didn't answer. He reached out and cupped her chin, lifting her face to his. It fits you just fine, he said huskily. Or maybe you're just not ready yet. Before she could protest, he leaned down and covered her mouth with his. His other arm wrapped tightly around her waist, pulling her flush against him. He didn't say anything, just bit down gently on her lip. The sting quickly turned into a dizzying pleasure, a silent transmission of his feelings. Naughty girl, he whispered against her mouth. Do you want me to punish you right here? His eyes were dark with desire, an unspoken promise hanging in the air. I want everyone to know, he murmured. I want everyone to know that you belong to me. Shazhou heard the noise outside and couldn't sit still. He knew what was happening. He sent a quick message to Little Cat. I found you. Next time, don't let him get away with just a bite. You need to be stricter with him. Gu Ying finally let her go. He sent her a message as he walked away. My little cat, I found you. Wait for me. I have to handle some things with senior brother, and then I'll come pick you up. Wait for me tonight. Gu Ying held her hand tightly, his fingers interlacing with hers as he looked deep into her eyes. I don't care about the rules, he murmured, his voice low and husky. I just want to be with you, even if we have to keep it low profile for a while. I'm willing to wait, as long as I know you are mine. When they got off work, Gu Ying drove her out of the company building and headed towards the parking lot. There weren't many cars left in the garage. He stopped the car, unbuckled his seatbelt, and leaned over, his gaze locking onto hers with an intensity that made her heart race. Senior brother, someone might see, she whispered, trying to sound stern but failing. I sent the report to your phone, didn't you see it? I saw it. he replied smoothly, his hand sliding under her jacket to rest on her waist. But I'm not interested in data right now. I'm only interested in you. She tried to push him away, but he held her firm, stealing a glance at her nervous expression. Don't be afraid, he teased, a hint of a smile playing on his lips. The windows are tinted. Besides, you look cute when you're flustered. She pouted. I am not cute. I'm just worried about my job. If people find out, let them find out, he said, his tone suddenly serious. He leaned in and kissed her, a slow, possessive kiss that left her breathless and trembling. When he finally pulled back, he rested his forehead against hers. Come have dinner with me tonight, he said suddenly. Go to my house. My parents are expecting us. She froze. Your parents? But it's so sudden. I'm not ready. What if they don't like me? I didn't even bring a gift. Gu Ying reached out and gently stroked her cheek. You are the best gift. Don't worry so much. My mother has been wanting to meet you for a long time. She will love you, I promise. Seeing the panic in her eyes, he softened his voice. Little cat, trust me, okay? I'll be right there with you. She took a deep breath and nodded slowly. Okay. The nervousness dissipated as they arrived at the Gu family home. The atmosphere was warm and welcoming. His mother greeted them at the door with a beaming smile, immediately putting her at ease. Oh, you must be her, his mother exclaimed, taking her hands warmly. You are even prettier than Ying described. This dress is lovely on you. The color suits your complexion perfectly, and your makeup is so natural and elegant. You have such good taste. Thank you. Auntie, she said shyly, her cheeks flushing. Come in, his mother urged. I made all of Ying's favorite dishes. Oh, do you like milk? I remember you mentioned you don't drink coffee, so I prepared some warm milk and tea instead. She likes it, Gu Ying interjected, his voice filled with affection. Whatever you make, she will like. During dinner, his mother kept the conversation lively, mostly recounting stories from Gu Ying's childhood. When he was little, he was such a troublemaker, she laughed. He used to get into fights with the neighbors, but he was also very sensible. He would always help me peel fruit when I came home from work. She listened with a smile, occasionally glancing at Gu Ying. He sat beside her, eating quietly, but his gaze was fixed on her. Under the table, his hand found hers, his thumb gently stroking her palm. The silent gesture reassured her, calming the lingering anxiety in her heart. You two really are a perfect match, his mother said, watching them interact with a satisfied smile. Seeing you together like this, I feel much more at ease. I hope you will always be this happy. She squeezed Gu Ying's hand back, looking up at him. In his eyes, she saw a future she hadn't dared to hope for before. She knew then that this was where she belonged. Finally, Gu Ying brought you home. Inside, you were rubbing Shazhou's head when Little Cat spoke up. Thank you. Thank you for what? You asked, amused, reaching out to tickle the soft fur on her belly. Thank you for always protecting me, for being willing to protect me, Little Cat answered. She was a clever one, a quiet soul always watching from the sidelines and never demanding affection. It was only in this moment, wrapped in the safety of the dark, that she felt confident enough to speak her heart. Gu Ying smiled, reached out, and rubbed Shazhou's head. You two little rascals, who else would protect you but me? Even if you don't rely on me, I still have to protect you. But from now on, don't tell anyone you are mine. Let others think you are just ordinary cats. Let them think what they want. But if they know you are mine, they will know the truth. Got it? You nodded and buried your face in Shazhou's fur. It was so warm like a little sun. From now on, you don't need to pretend to keep your distance from me in public. It doesn't matter what method you use, just tell people you're taken. Even if you say I am your old abusive husband or that I am a scumbag who trapped you in a marriage and made you miserable, it is fine. I just can't stand being just friends in everyone else's eyes. My possessiveness is enough to make me want to claim you in the open. You paused for a moment, then couldn't help laughing as you looked up at him. Senior brother, were you jealous of the intern? You're actually a good cat. I used to think you were aloof, but you're actually too clingy. Gu Ying heard this, and his gaze darkened. He walked over, pinning you against the wall. Leaning close to your ear, he murmured, Who are you calling senior brother? I am your boyfriend. Don't lump me in with that cat. And who said I am a good cat? I am your man. Who are you calling clingy? I am just properly expressing my affection. I know. You leaned against his chest, listening to his steady heartbeat. It's just, a moment ago you were so high and mighty, saying you wouldn't let me tell anyone. I thought you were going to keep me hidden forever. I didn't expect you to suddenly want to announce it to the world. I was so happy I didn't know what to say. He laughed, hugging you tighter and rubbing his chin against your hair. I was just testing you. Actually, I have wanted to take you home to meet my parents for a long time. It's just, well, you know, there is a lot going on at the company, and I didn't want to put any pressure on you. That night, you finally fell into a sweet dream. In the dream, the three cats lay on the same bed. You were hugging one and the other was rubbing against your leg. The dried fish in the bowl was enough for everyone. No one was jealous, no one was sad, and the future was certain. Bang. The sound of the door closing snapped you back to reality. You stopped petting the cat in your arms and looked up. It was Gu Ying. He was back. He was just a visitor who had left and returned, just like a cat. You didn't know when it started, but you were no longer the little cat hiding in the shadows. You had Shazhou, little cat, and Gu Ying. He was the only one who could possess you and protect you, and you would protect him too. This warmth started with him, and your mutual love would continue on, stretching into forever.